Hello Bellezas, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video today. I'm pretty sure you can already tell what today's video is going to be about due to the title. So before we do get started, if you are new here, hi, my name is Brenda. I go by Beyond Belleza, that is my YouTube channel name. If you would like, go ahead and subscribe down below. Also turn on your post notifications so you know when I post a new video, and you can join part of my Bellezas, my little community. I would really appreciate it. So if you guys are interested in hearing today's stories, please go ahead and keep on watching. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video, because it still does not really feel like spooky season, especially today. I have my fan right here, so if you guys can hear that, I apologize, but it is blowing in this direction and it is like 88 degrees outside, so I'm tired of it. This heat was killing me. I filmed this makeup look on the other video. You'll probably see it before this one, and I was dying the whole entire time. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, it's too hot. But yeah guys, so I am hoping that you are enjoying these spooky videos. Please don't be shy to let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see, because I do know that my paranormal story video has been popular. It's got like over 1.7k views, but I don't know if it just got into, you know, the right recommendation area, so I'm not really sure if it is something you guys want to see. But I do have a lot of fun making these for spooky season, and I love Halloween. It is one of my absolute favorite holidays besides Christmas, so I do like making these videos, but I want to make sure that you guys are enjoying it as well. So if you would let me know in the comments, that would be awesome if you do watch my videos. Let's go ahead and get started with story number 1. Okay, so as always, a lot of these happenings end up happening in Mexico. So this was in the rancho of my great-grandma. If you guys aren't familiar with the rest of my stories, they will be in the cards along this video if you guys want to go back and watch those first. But a lot of them are set there, and my mom says that there's just a lot of activity there. I don't know if it's just because of the lack of people. She hasn't been there in over 25 years, so she doesn't know how different it is to this day. There was a lot of things that would go on. One of the first ones is that back in my great-grandma's times when she was younger, she said that everybody in the rancho was like, you know, really old-fashioned, so everybody would carry around guns, and there was gunfights and a lot of shootings happening just for conflict and whatnot. So my great-grandma says that there was one time where it was like at its peak. It was like the worst. There were so many people shooting at each other and a lot of gun violence, and everybody, like every single man in that area owned a gun, and it was getting really bad. So story goes that one day while everybody was like having this huge gunfight, that there was a random like sand tornado basically that just gusted out of nowhere, and it was such a massive tornado that it took almost everybody who was out on the street shooting, and it breezed through the entire rancho, and it like flung everybody all over the place. And it was like the most strange occurrence can't say that word. It was such a strange occurrence that everybody was shocked that it happened. It's like, it's not something that happens on the regular, so everybody was pretty shocked when it did. And so it sent everybody flying, and a lot of people ended up dying. They ended up in trees, and there even animals that were out in the farms ended up in the trees and ended up like just being thrown everywhere. My great-grandma says that she thinks it happened because God sent this down for it to happen, or it could have just been like a really random rare thing in nature. But my grandma says that she believes that it was God's wrath, and he was tired of things like this happening in the rancho, so he sent that down so people would learn their lesson and stop doing this. So she says that after there was a lot of funerals from all the people that ended up dying from being caught in this tornado, she said that there were so many funerals, so many velorios, I guess is what they call it, no, memorials, yeah, And my grandma said, you know, my great grandma said that she had to go attend a lot of these. There was a lot of gatherings, a lot of food being made. And after this incident, everybody agreed that they were going to keep their guns locked away and that they were going only to use them when they needed to, you know, in case of an emergency or something like that, an intruder. And they all stopped carrying around the guns on their little holsters. So after that day, nothing like that happened in all of the years that my great grandma lived in Juchitlan. So she said that she never saw this occur again with a tornado or anything. So she really does believe that this happened because God made it happen and to teach everybody there a lesson. And yeah, guys, so that's just one of the first stories. It's kind of like a superstitious or a higher being sort of thing. And since I wasn't there, I can't really say whether I believe it or not, but it sounds crazy. It could have been just like a normal thing that just happened randomly, but no one will ever know. But yeah, that is the first story. So we could go ahead and get started with number 2. Okay, so story number 2 goes that my mom and her uncle, her sisters, and my grandpa, they were all driving up to the rancho from the pueblo. It's like the super long narrow road, and it leads all the way up to where my grandma's house is, and it's like an hour and a half away driving. And she said that they were driving and that they ended up getting caught in the mud, so they couldn't push out the car. My grandpa and my mom's uncle tried pushing it out of the mud, but it was really stuck in there, and they said that they were going to have to come back with a different truck to haul it out of the mud. And they had flashlights in the back of the truck, so they took all the flashlights, and they ended up saying that they were just going to walk all the way up to the rancho, which my mom says that it was like the longest walk in her life. And so they end up walking, and they come to this place where there's kind of like gates leading up to where the rancho is. Once you're almost getting close to the rancho, there's sort of like I think she said gates, or like kind of like an entrance, saying that it was Juchitlan. I'm not really sure which one of the two it is, but she said that there was like a little area in the woods that all of her cousins would talk about, and they always talked about seeing what they called fireflies, but they said that they were like little people. So what they were referring to were fairies. They said that they would always see the fairies there, and my mom and her sisters never believed them, but they wanted to go see the fairies anywhere, see if they saw any fireflies or whatever. So they ended up stopping a little bit there so they could go to the bathroom and stuff, because they had been walking for over an hour or 2 now. And she said that they stopped, they went to the little part of the woods, and they soon enough started seeing what looked like little fireflies flying around. They were trying to catch them in their hands, and my mom said that she ended up catching one, and she said the only way that you could see the little fireflies was if you slightly opened it and then put your eye in it. And she said that when she looked inside of it, that before she looked, that her hand was glowing a bunch of different colors, that they were like blue, purple, green, pink, and they were just flashing. And she ended up like reaching in and looking in, and she said that she swears that she saw a fairy, and then her sister also saw it too. But when they grew up, she's like, they were talking about it one day, and she's like, do you remember when we saw the fairies? Like we caught them in our hand and we were looking at them through our hands. And her sister says she doesn't remember anything. My mom has a pretty good memory. She says that she remembers everything from kindergarten and up, and I don't even think I can remember anything further than 6 or 7 years old. And I was trying to like get the most out of my mom. I was like, are you sure? Like, are you lying to me? And she's like, no. She's like, I swear, you know, it could have been her imagination as a little kid, but like I honestly want to believe her when it comes to this, because I would love fairies and stuff to be real. Like that would mean that there's so much more on this earth that we don't know about, and so much mystical things, mystical beings that we don't know anything about, because you know they choose, I feel like they choose who can see them. And my mom was little, she was like 11, I think 10 or 11, so I feel like since she was little she had like an innocent being and everything. I feel like the fairies let her see them, and as well as her younger sister, and she said that she remembers it so vividly and that she knows what she saw was real. So I would love to believe her and actually believe that there are fairies, but I didn't see it myself. And sometimes people say, you know, you don't have to see to believe, and my mom said that she never really had a reason to lie about it, and she remembers it the way she remembers it, whether it was because she was little and they were actually just fireflies, but we'll never know. But yeah guys, that is the second story. I just love anything that's like magical and all of that. Okay. So let's move on to story number 3, and of course our final story of this video. So the third one is about duendes. My mom says that this is something that is very, very much believed in Mexico, that a lot of people believe in duendes, that they have seen them before, that they live in their house, and there's even like a whole museum dedicated to duendes. It's somewhere in Mexico, I'm not really sure. I remember seeing a YouTube video of
Se supone que si les dejas dinero son como ofrendas para que te cumplan deseos, pero después te los cobran si les dejas de dar dinero. Así que...
Sí, va a haber dinero. Están como pegadas algunas.
Caballos, travesuras, y a las personas también.
Ajá.
No, se supone que si vienes aquí, algún duende se te puede subir y trenzarte el cabello sin que te des cuenta, ¿verdad?
Incluso si ustedes tienen una duda de que si tienen algún duendecillo así como cerquita de ustedes, pues nos comentan que depende de los calcetines impares que tienen.
No, y aparte también se te pierden las llaves, o si te cambia el celular del lugar donde lo habías dejado. Son como pequeñas pistas, que travesuras, como que te esconden las cosas, tus objetos personales, o como dice Andy.
But there's a lot of different beliefs when it comes to duendes. Like, people have beliefs that they're evil, and some think that they're nice and they're just mischievous. So it just depends on your view of duendes and whether you're scared of them or not. But for me, I'm actually like that's just something scary to me. I remember seeing that one episode of Goosebumps with the gnomes, and I was scared so bad. And I remember reading the book too. I would read it, and every single time that I would finish parts of it, I would be so spooked, and I was like, I don't want to read this book anymore. But I remember being super scared of gnomes. So when my mom would talk about duendes, and she said that they were nice and that they just like causing like a little bit of mischief here and there, like they would move your things around and they would think it's funny or whatever, and I was just like, they're just gross. And she said that she believes in them, and that so does her mom and her grandma. And so they both said that they've seen them before, like running around in gardens and stuff, which is basically the typical sort of tale, is that, you know, that they have these little towns and, you know, like the Smurfs type thing, and that they run around and they even could live in people's houses without knowing it. And there's parts of that YouTube video that I saw that you can leave stuff out for them, like treats or money or coins or whatever, and they'll do things for you. You know, they'll I don't know exactly what it said in the video, but my mom, for her, she said that her grandma and her mom both said that they would always be missing stuff. In one of my grandma's old houses, they said that they would see them around the house, and I just think that's super creepy. I don't want no goddamn gnome in my house. I mean, absolutely not. I'm like, not today. You're gonna have to go live somewhere else. I'm not gonna leave any kind of treat for you. But yeah, guys, that is the kind of, it was not really too much of a story about the duendes, more than my mom believes in them, and she thinks that she's seen them before, and that they've lived in one of her homes when she was little. But she didn't tell me too much information. She just said that, you know, it's like a very well-known superstitious, I think you would, I don't know what you would categorize gnomes under, but yeah, just another mystical sort of thing, and I don't know, super scary. I hate it. and I'm like, I never ever want to see a gnome. Like, I would love to see a fairy, but a gnome, I don't know about all of that. But yeah guys, that is the third and final story. Kind of sped through them a little bit. I didn't want this video to get super long. And yeah guys, I do hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't be shy to start a conversation with me in the comments down below if you've experienced anything like this. I would love to hear it. I would love to talk to you guys. Thank you so much again. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. I will see you guys in my next one. I love you guys so much. Bye bye.